sensation. And then Ken Klippenstein was the one who said, Elon, you are a furry. This interaction happened? What? Oh, the plot thickens. Disastrous past couple of weeks. It's been in direct relation, proportion, because you know how billionaires basically, they suck up all of the world's resources kind of thing. So it's in relation and proportion to how a lot of you have probably felt a little better. Like if you felt slightly more hopeful for the future with the events that have been taking place for the past couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden he's now feeling worse and worse and worse. Well, maybe that's just the relativity of it all. He needs to suffer immensely so that all of us can just feel slightly better. That's it. And I mean, this, unfortunately, is of your own design, sir. If you wanted to play the game and become the billionaire and become he who has all the resources, that's fine. But your suffrage and your suffering and the Schadenfreude that comes off of you benefits the rest of the planet in turn. We each get a little +1 for you to have a negative, 7.5 billion. Right? Then we're all just like, whoop, oh, that's kind of funny. And in this case, he's had a bad couple weeks. Tesla reported having just record plummeting in profits. I think it was 45% in their last quarter in the net. Clearly, shareholders talked to him, or someone talked to him and said, can you just fucking back off this whole MAGA fascist train? Because he's just like, he's deeply scared of being part of a losing team and saw the writing on the wall. Essentially, they pick Vice President Harris to become the next presidential candidate to be in the running against Trump. He gets really, really scared once he sees the polling. He changes his avatar from, kind of like the Dark Donald, whatever motif he was going for, back to his original one. He's now trying to, it looks like, reverse course a little bit and go back to being kind of like, I'm electric cars ubu spaceman, but it's not working as well. While at the same time, being super transphobic and trying desperately to appeal to the grossest, sweatiest, ugliest, and worst human beings on the planet and the internet specifically. And so he does that interview with Jordan Peterson, and in that interview with Jordan Peterson, he talks a ton of shit about his own daughter. She comes out and wasn't going to talk about this, but clearly, I mean, you basically called her out, so she fucking wrecks him. Overnight becomes like one of the most beloved figures on Twitter for free, by the way. That just shows you how deeply hated you are. You spend $44 billion becoming the leader of this entire app, and then Vivian just comes out of nowhere and everyone's like retweet, hundreds of thousands of likes. Like, you spent all this money to become the most followed person on this platform, and then your daughter comes along, the one that you had been talking shit about, and just wrecks you. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing to see. And then it got a little bit sad again because this happened, if you didn't hear. I keep forgetting that Grimes is from my city. Grimes is in Vancouver, and that her mom is obviously Canadian from Vancouver as well. I always forget that. It's just like, oh yeah, that's weird. But either way, so her mom apparently was writing on Twitter that there's just no other way to put this out there, and I just have no way of reaching him. Apparently, the kids, well, one set of kids of Elon Musk, the grandmother is dying, and the grandmother is desperate to meet them, and she's on palliative care, and is desperately saying, "Please, Elon, can you let the grandmother see the children while he's basically taking the kids and traveled over to the Olympics with them." So that's the thing that happened. Grimes' mother has accused Elon Musk of withholding his children from their family. The SpaceX founder has unpronounceable words, and also the singer, whose real name is Clara Boucher, has made a public plea to see her grandchildren, particularly while her own mother is very ill. She wrote on X, "Dear Elon, it's been nice seeing you on Father's Day. I hope you get the card that I helped X make. He was very proud of it. I'm writing here as the only way to reach you. As you know, my 93-year-old mother is now at the end of life palliative care. She yearns to see and hold Claire's children one last time, especially the youngest, whom she has not yet met. She was thrilled for the kid's planned visit to celebrate his birthday this weekend today, but those hopes were crushed when the trip was cancelled." Sandy accused the billionaire of keeping the children's passports away from his former partner and is baffled as to the current whereabouts of the younger children, as Elon was seen at the 2024 Paris Olympics opening ceremony on Friday, only with X. She continued, "I am alarmed to learn that the children cannot come as you are withholding them and need their passport documents from Claire. It was even more troubling to see you and X on television at the Olympics in Paris yesterday after your DC trip earlier this week. Where are the other children, and with whom? They're scheduled to be with their mother. They're expected here in Canada. I write with the grandmother's plea, asking you to honor your agreement, return the children, and provide the documents they need to see their great-grandmother before she passes. Some moments in life will last forever, and we get no second chances. Please, Elon, I beg you. This is so painful for my mother and concerning for the kids. Time is of the essence now." if you didn't think that he was a horrifying, just deplorable fucking deadbeat dad of the highest order, you were just getting an outpouring of evidence now. So everyone knows that's basically the origin story of Elon Musk. He's divorced, he's a piece of shit, he's a terrible dad, and he has an impregnation fetish. He cares a lot about satisfying his penis and having orgasms and impregnating women and people who work for him, and having his subordinates have to carry and raise his children, but does not care about his children at all. Doesn't care about the actual raising of the children. Typical, very, right-wing conservative kind of values, where it's like, we need more children, we need more births, we need more white soldiers on this earth kind of shit, where they don't actually care at all about raising these kids or taking care of them or any of that kind of, like, nah, fuck that noise. What, be a good father? That would require work. I just want to feel good. I like when it tingles. I like that feeling. I like being like, that I've consulted a friend of mine who also happens to be a massive creator, who also happens to be a very large figure in the furry community. So I've consulted with the furries, and I've spoken to some people within the furry community to ask them questions about this. It's a good thing I did, because when I originally heard that Elon Musk is a baby fur, I assumed that baby furs were people starting out in the fur community, as in they were trying to kind of like explore what it's like to be a furry, whether or not they'll be welcomed by the furry community. Should they go to FurryCon? Should they start making their own furry costumes from scratch? Those can be very expensive. They take a long time. I didn't know all the steps. That's what I thought. So that me going in, I was like, so that's a baby fur, someone dipping their little, what's like a fur, their like a nose. I can't think of an animal snoot right now, but their snoot or whatever their animal of choice is into that arena. All right, into that world. That's what I assumed. I was dead wrong, and I'm glad I did my research. Okay, and again, I do also want to add to this: furries rock, furries rule. Right now, furry stocks are very, very high. Okay, furry stocks are fucking soaring. Okay, everyone talks about how evil Project 2025 is. Are you a gay furry? Did you hack Heritage Foundation? No, then shut the fuck up. They did. They took action into their own paws. Okay, they weren't going to sit back and watch this shit go down. They were like, fuck that noise. Here it is. The whole thing hacked. Here's some fucking funny back and forth. This shit is hilarious. And then obviously they had to disband because a lot of attention came from it. But through their hacks and through their warrior and valiant fucking, struggle, we have learned that effectively a lot of the people who are the architects of Project 2025 were within the Trump administration. 70 to 80% of the same people who worked on Project 2025 were admins and officials within the Trump administration. Thank you, gay furries. Okay, you did a really good thing. So right now, furry stocks soaring. They're doing awesome, and this might actually add to it, the fact that they were capable of clocking Elon Musk from a big distance. So this account says, it's fucking true, I'm not going crazy, and I know it sounds like bullshit, but it's real. Dreams of Mars says, he meant, do you identify as a furry? Elon Musk says, fur curious. Fur curious. Okay, go on. So that could probably mean a lot of things. It's not conclusive. All right, we don't have any conclusive proof here, but that's certainly someone saying, I fuck with furries, if nothing else, and I am maybe interested in trying out a little bit of, furry-esque material or dress up or conferences, in the world. Again, it's a community, and so, in order to be part of that community, you'd also have to be accepted and belong to that community as well. Now, this is Elon Test, aka Elon Musk. Now, this account doesn't exist anymore, but this account has now been verified to have been Elon Musk's burner account. If you didn't know, Elon Musk had a burner account in which he played an infantilized version of himself, and it seemed that he really enjoyed that roleplay. Now, that in and of itself, again, this would have been just kind of evidence left to its own devices. You can just back away from this, and maybe it's true. We don't really truly know, but there's no question at this point, considering that burner account has been verifiably his own account, that he was also using it for some stranger shit, to role play as like, what is prawn? That kind of stuff, where he was tweeting all those weird things. So that's weird. Or sorry, he was pretending to be his own son, right? He wasn't even pretending to be himself. He was pretending to be, or was he pretending to be? Either way, just, oh my God, so fucked up. So Elon Test says, I will finally turn 3 on May 4th. For the love of God, can someone follow me? That's why we know. And then it's been later now confirmed by the Rolling Stone article. So Gizmodo, Elon Musk confirms he's been role-playing as a toddler for years. Now, the reason why the toddler part is important is that is what a baby fur is. A baby fur is someone who combines multiple things. These are, again, these are subcultures within subcultures, but a baby fur is someone who does role play and pretends to be an infantilized or baby-like version of an animal. They're separate from the furry communities. There is the furry community, of which they do their thing, and then there's subcultures within the furry community, and those subcultures also have subcultures, by the way. It's one of the reasons, and one of the other reasons why I say that like the furry community is incredibly awesome and based is because they really kick out the shitty members of their communities, right? They'll kick out the Nazis. There is a very big, online furry Nazi thing. The furries don't fuck with the furry Nazis. They're like, yeah, no, die Nazi, die kind of shit. Get the fuck out of our community. Same thing with right-wingers who try to infiltrate the furry community, like Milo Yiannopoulos, one of the first big conventions before it was cool to cancel him. Before it was like, oh yeah, that guy just leaked on the Drunken Peasant podcast that he's apparently into pedophilia or that pedophilia is okay or something like that. Before that happened, furries were like, fuck off. Like, fuck off. You're not speaking at our convention. You're not coming here. Whoever originally booked you. Yeah, no, it's not happening, right? So they've been really good at kind of doing that shit. And also, like I've said, furries seem to run a lot of the internet. So that's one of the reasons why you shouldn't really fuck with furries, just like at the end of the day, that 3 a.m. phone call is most likely going to be some furry somewhere is going to get up and have to go change a wire somewhere. One of the many underground tubes that exist. And so that leads us to this. I had to go through literally 30,000 photos of the most traumatic moments of my life, but it was worth it. Presented without commentary, we have actual photographic evidence of baby fur Elon Musk. And oh man, what a time to be alive. It's one of those times where there's a surplus of photos. And guess what? This doesn't necessarily, if you have a photo like this, of which I do, by the way, not a baby fur, not a furry, but I have been to a lot of music festivals, and having gone to a lot of music festivals, yeah, there's a lot of times where enjoying a music festival in the comfort of a onesie, a cozy onesie, whether it be a Yoshi, I think I had a Yoshi, another of my friend had Winnie the Pooh, another one of my friends was like Pikachu, that kind of stuff. It's just fun, especially when you're whacked out on life, when you're really, really high on life. You'll really enjoy the warm, plushy feeling of being in that kind of fabric and running around and hugging people and just all that kind of stuff on life. Yes, it's an absolutely splendid experience listening to a whole bunch of very heavy beats. In this picture, as again, I've myself have been in this, it appears that he is rolling and poorly rolling a joint. I think that's what's taking place here. That, or he's trying to take out tobacco from a cigarette in order to put weed in it. That could also be happening right here. Again, Toronto, I don't know why y'all do that. Just weed should be weed and cigarettes should be cigarettes, but either way, yeah, so that's happening. But yeah, this now knowing the other evidence, there are people who wear, by the way, just onesies for the fun of it, right? Like I'll count myself in that. I'm not a furry, not a baby fur, but I wear onesies for the fun of it. But then there are people who are trying to experiment with becoming part of different communities, like it seems like Elon must be, where there's now people trying to piece together all the little bits of evidence from the internet. Now it's gone as far as making Know Your Meme. So we'll show this as part of a series. The Elon Musk baby fur rumor refers to the viral rumor of American entrepreneur Elon Musk has had an active interest in the baby fur fandom, which is a subgroup of the furry community who roleplay as child characters. Spawned by a viral X post in late July 2024, the unconfirmed rumor became super viral, subject of speculation and memes in the following days. So this is when he failed to worm his way into the Bay Area baby fur community in like 2009. True story. Do you know where his downfall started? So this is, I guess, is the very first time, this was on July 25th, that we have someone pointing towards this being a potential true thing. More damage to baby fur's image than to the photo of the guy in the diapers at Rainfur at Furfest, sorry. That feeling when you copy a baby fur and somehow your toddler roleplay account gets suspended by the own site. So yeah, this is why it's all speculation, okay? It is 100% true, confirmed, that he does have or had an account in which he did toddler roleplay. That's just true. Elon Musk did that shit, okay? And like, I mean, that's its own story and its own thing. It's also true that he has stated that he's fur curious. That is as true as well. And there are rumors within the baby fur community that apparently he had tried to infiltrate it a while ago. But that is unsubstantiated. Those parts aren't true. And the speculation isn't true. This photo is real. And this photo could also mean multiple things, though. You could just be someone who is wearing a onesie at a music festival. It's very typical. I myself would be guilty of that. All right. So like that in and of itself is not just an outright. This is a 100% verifiable fact. We're still putting the pieces together, okay? This is going to be one of those stories that I will tell you this. As silly as this all sounds, when I was covering like maybe a year and a half ago the story about the Elon Musk baby account, toddler roleplay shit, that at that time was seen as just too ridiculous and too internet a story for real journalists to go after it. It wasn't, I think it was like a year later when I'm also, you know, obviously just a dumpster fire scum and villainy of the internet, that I was just like, but this is funny. So I was following that story, right? Lover of comedy, lover of a good story, that if it's the sillier, the better. And the more depraved, the better also. I am that comic book on the internet, the sicko, the one who's like, yes, yes. So discovering that, especially when it's the world's worst humans, right? Like the most evil people on the planet, fucking over the planet, fucking over all of us, to find out that billionaires have all of these like little dirty secrets, because like we're entering the age where there's going to be more and more millennial and zoomer billionaires who rule the planet, right? Like more and more people, this is just I'm sorry, fact of life, older people are going to start dying, and the more of them that die, they're going to transfer their wealth to their horrifying nepo babies. So all of a sudden, instead of it's the Donald Trumps, it's going to be the Donald Trump Juniors, and eventually the barons who are going to be taking over the show. But that comes with this own cost, which is that people who are millennials and Gen Zers, they've also been online for a really long time. And if you're online for a long time, it's hard not to have a ton of shit posted about you at one point or another. Now, if you're an internet clown, it's less of a thing, you know. It's kind of like, well, yeah, I mean, the worst thing is that I'm going to tell you, yes, there are photos that exist of me at music festivals in what is it, these onesies. Yes, that they exist 100%, and that has nothing to do with me exploring the baby fur community and nothing to do with me being a furry. I'm neither of those things. In that moment in time, it just felt really nice because I was really high on life to be at a music festival wearing a nice plushy costume of something cartoony, and to be around other people who were also very high on life, to be wearing plushy cartoony costumes of fun things and just dancing to beats all night kind of shit. But in terms of evidence piling, we're starting to get much closer to another story, yet another one. I mean, this is one in which I was ready to ignore and walk away from that whole burner account actually being him, because it was just so profoundly fucked up and weird to have him being like, oh, what is porn? And like, oh, I can't wait to go to nightclubs. Oh, and I was like, that it would just be so profoundly strange for one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful human, next to say like, you know, people like the presidents and stuff, but like the richest human being on the planet, to also just be posting all of the stuff that is so easily to get caught with on main. And why don't any of them scrub the internet for their old shit? Like, I know he hates the jizz lane pictures. I know he hates that shit. But now, with like, you know, the fact that every single day JD Vance has a new photo coming out about him, where you're just like, how did you not scrub the picture of this? Even if you're like, okay, this is me at a frat, and I'm with the boys, and it's a character, and it's a wrestling character. I'm not actually a communist. It's like, yeah, fine, but why not just delete that, right? If you want to run away from that one for being a communist, then like, how do you run away from the whole fucking, I went to a gun show where they were selling a bunch of Nazi memorabilia, and I saw people in the replies like, you clearly never been to a gun show. And I was like, I have been to gun shows. I'll be honest with you. I've never been to a gun show where there's just a whole bunch of Nazi stands. Like, you just go from one Nazi memorabilia stand to the other, and in between them, there's some bullets available for you to go check out. But like, yeah, okay, let's get back to this photo. So this is what he was doing on 9/11, by the way. So this is 9/11, 2021. You know, just checking out the guns. A lot of old guns. Interesting gun right here, by the way. Not sure if anyone is familiar with this particular model, but it's a gun show. Lots of old nostalgia, things like that. Now, if you look at the table just next to him, right, one table over from the one that he's at, in which there is a vendor there available for things to buy, you may notice some other interesting little tidbits for sale that, again, are like, yes, he is in the shot, and yes, while he is in the shot with his, it's funny, that is one of those photos that like made his eyes look completely dark, as if he's like, you know, possessed by a demon or something. But yeah, it just gets normal stuff for the gun show. And yeah, sure, maybe you can find Nazi memorabilia at every gun show in the US. That's true. I don't go to a lot of gun shows in the US. I am out of my depth here. To people in the US who go to a fuck ton of gun shows where there's Lugers and stuff like that, do they have entire tables of nothing but Nazi memorabilia? Because like, I could get maybe if there was a couple old like coins or something, and something like, oh, these are just for the historians, even though like as a historian, yeah, but like I love history. I don't want to have Nazi shit surrounding me. That's creepy as fuck, right? But anyways, to have a full table of it, you know, for swastikas, everything, I don't know. I could go either way. The speculation could go in one direction or the other, right? Like, it's like maybe Elon Musk is not an actual baby fur enthusiast who does like toddler role play outside of his actual confirmed toddler role play, by the way. He's already shown that he does that, and he does that, like, you know, publicly. He does have a publicly kind of pretty much professed impregnation fetish, while at the same time simultaneously trying to role play as his own child. He has shown interest in the furry community, and there are photos of him potentially dressed up as a baby fur. We're not entirely sure if that is, it's not confirmed though. We like, again, context that people could run with this in opposite directions. So it's one of those things where there's a lot of room for plausible deniability, true, even though, I mean, at this scale, at this angle, you have to remember that JD Vance is roughly about the same size as the entire table of Nazi memorabilia. If we were to measure the two, right? Like, but either way, could be nothing. Could be nothing, could be everything. I don't understand. It's like, it's so cheap. It's so when I blew up on the internet, roughly around the time that my YouTube channel, I had like, I think 5,000 subs, really teeny. And I had a podcast with Dave. We had a podcast called The Serfs. My YouTube channel had a couple of documentaries and a couple of video essays. It gets taken down by Nazis, mass flagging it, saying that we did spam, scam, and whatever. I get to call into the Majority Report. Hassan talks about it. Kalinsky talks, like a boom. I get Streisand affected. And then overnight, I get like 20,000 subs on YouTube. And I remember just looking down on my notifications that used to go from like maybe 1 or 2 a day or every other day to literally hundreds every couple seconds, and not knowing how to process this, my brain being like, whoa. And then all of a sudden it's like, you go from just having a couple people know who you are and have opinions on you to thousands of people know who you are and have opinions on you. And then all of a sudden the same effects, right? Like there are hundreds of people like, oh my God, I love the Serfs guy. He's so much fun. This is so much fun. To other people being like, you're a race traitor who has to murder himself immediately. Roblox yourself off the planet. And you're like, oh my God, what the fuck? So that happens fast and furious. And I remember one of the first things I did was that, like, I was like, I'm deleting my Facebook. it was literally my first thought. As soon as I started seeing that happen, I was like, no, I'm deleting my Facebook. And I did it. I deleted my Facebook. Like, immediately I was like, you know, the one thing that's on the internet that had a fuck ton of photos of myself tagged with other people and all this kind of stuff, I'm just deleting all of it. Doing the one where you delete it with the pictures too. Just blah. And that was for me getting like 5,000 subs to 20,000 subs. This dude is running for the vice president of the United States. You're telling me no one could have combed through any of this and found any of this shit? Like, not a single person could have been like, he did post a picture where it says this is a woman getting raped by a dolphin, and he left the fact that he still has the search terms woman and dolphin in bold. You should take that down. And don't answer questions about it. Just delete it. Don't play defense on the dolphin rape porn shit. Don't do that. No, there is no defense here. Walk away from it. What? Just delete and deny and be like, oh, maybe that could have been related to edgy and inappropriate humor that he categorically denies. He's a strange man and a born again Christian right now, right? But like, it's still up. It's that the dolphin shit is literally still up there. Anyone who wants to can like quote tweet it. The Nazi one, it's up there. It's still up there. And if the defense here is that, like, what's a gun show? It's a gun show. There's Nazi shit at gun shows. I'm sorry. What do you want me to say? It's like, okay, is he going to answer it though? Is he going to talk about it? Why he took a photo and posted a photo directly beside a bunch of Nazi memorabilia on 9/11 at a gun show? No. All right. Well then, let's talk about the monkey testicles. The furry. Is this like a symbol for furries? Also very sus that a furry is reporting on this. Amazing giant multicolored squirrel caught on camera becomes internet sensation. And then Ken Klippenstein was the one who said, Elon, you are a furry. This interaction happened? What? Oh, the plot thickens. These rumors are untrue. They were playful back then. This was before Elon Musk blocked him. He couldn't take it after a while. And I think it was because Ken Klippenstein posted a picture of the Ralph meme where he's like pissing his pants. And, you know, and he's like, no, Elon did it the other way around. He's like, I'm a journalist, and posted the picture of the Ralph meme. And then it had no effect because Ken is just so far, like, he's operating at a much higher level than he is. It's a different plane, honestly, of existence than Elon Musk is, right? Elon Musk is kind of like, you know, the Drake in this situation, who's just still trying to do fucking, like, yeah, I'm a piece of shit, lol, and keck kind of shit. And then it just doesn't play when the other person is just, again, operating at a higher level than you. And so at this case, I didn't know that he was like, Elon, are you a furry? And he says, these rumors aren't true. Jordan says, prove it. And he says, he means you identify as a furry. And he said, fur curious. So here we have it. Wow. This is back in 2019 too, so this is way back. It's probably an indication that Elon Musk was wanting to be one, but was not broadly accepted by the furry community because furries are based and Elon Musk is not, and they can sense him a mile away, right? Like they would have clocked his ass so fast. If it's all of a sudden like there was a group of libs who fell for Elon Musk shit for generations, and that's one of the reasons why like Tesla had such a great brand prior to his whole buying of Twitter. But like not everyone knew what a piece of shit Elon Musk was because they weren't as internet like brain poisoned as like all of you and I am. Right? All of us are just like, we are children of the internet. We were born of the internet and we will live and die on the internet, kind of shit like that. Whereas like, you know, regular normies who just like, you know, they like to check their Instagram stories, see what vacations their friends are having, or check out like a Facebook update in the marketplace to buy a couple things, but then they check out. And then it's all the rest of us who are all here who are just like, yeah, so just so you know, he's a massive piece of shit. But I think maybe furries, they knew. You know, and like I said, now's the time where furry stocks are soaring. They're taking down the Heritage Foundation, and if they sense and exiled Elon Musk early on in his exploration of potentially joining the furry community, well then, more power to the furries, more points for the furries. Honestly, I think at that point, everyone should be able to collectively say furries rule, furries rock. You can type it in the chats, you know, just make the furries feel welcome, and even if you are a furry, sound off and be like, hell yeah. That shit's
secret bonus episodes as well as uncensored content. Go to patreon.com/the Serfs. This show is produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Puppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Travis McClinton, Trincell, Words Greenwood, with additional support coming from all of these amazing human beings right here.